This is a high school geometry lesson in bisecting an angle. We're first going to do it the on-the-fly, cheap and dirty way, practical, just looking at it to do it. Later, we'll do it using geometry's tools. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is say to bisect, means to divide or cut or change into two equal sections, two equal portions. So we're going to bisect this angle. You need to make yourself a triangle that's big enough to go into one page in your cipher and not fill it up. It really doesn't matter the shape. This will work for all triangles. If they have different side lengths, if they're scaling, it'll be more interesting to do, but it'll work for an equilateral. It'll work for any triangle. I recommend that you start with the largest angle just because it's easiest to do it with the large one. You might as well do the easy one first as you get used to it. What we're going to do is bisect this angle by folding the piece of paper. What you need to do is kind of begin to curl it up and get right there on the point, on the vertex, and kind of pinch it to get yourself started. Then come down here, and now we're going to take the two sides of the triangle that meet at the one that you just pinched. Those two sides are the ones that you need to match up. So see here, I'm going to take it and put it as close as I can to exactly lining up. That's the two sides that meet at this vertex. Yeah. All right? We're going to mark the fold. You can just draw it, but sometimes try to say, is that right or not? Easiest way to get the ruler right in the edge is to kind of half fold it over, push the ruler in, and then it'll be in the right place. Once you've done that, draw your line up to the vertex. I got close. And you don't need to draw it all the way other side, but it doesn't matter if you do. Again, we call this a bisector because this line chops the larger angle into two angles that are equal. How do I know that it was equal? Well, like I say, this is the on-the-fly version. I folded it in half. Since I folded it in half, half must be here and half here, and they're equal because I folded it into two equal portions. Okay, so let's label this as an angle bisector because that's what it is. And a little terminology here for geometry. When we have angles that have the same measure, which these do, we mark it with an arc, kind of a little bit of a curvy line like that. This has one arc. This has one arc that identifies that these two are the same. It doesn't tell us what it is, but it tells us that the two angles have the same measure and that this is an angle bisector, splits it half in two. Now I recommend that you go to the next biggest one, which for me is here. Do the same thing. Pinch it there so that you can get it to be right on the point. I think you got it. Pinch it a little bit. Hold on to it. And then the two sides that come up to that point are the two that you're going to get to line up. Get it as close to perfect as you can. Increase it good. Go back, put your ruler in. The best way to get the ruler in the fold is to put the ruler in the fold. Push it into it. Then draw your line right along it. It doesn't need to go all the way. Again, label it as an angle bisector. And now, one mark matches one mark, wherever it is on the diagram. These two are the same, and the one arc is already taken. So I'm going to do a double arc here, and a matching double arc there. That says that the two marked with the two arcs are the same. They're probably not the same as these. They're the same as each other. Okay, do it again on your last one. You want to get it as close as you can to right at the vertex, the point of the triangle, and then line up. Again, the two sides that go into the point that you just pinched are the ones that you're lining up. Line it up there. Crease it good. Stick your ruler in. Draw your line. Label this again as an angle bisector because it is. Now we've used one mark, we've used two marks. I think you can probably figure out that here we're going to put 3 arcs. So the one that's marked with 3 is the same measure as the one that's marked with 3. The one that's marked with 2 is the same as the one that's marked with 2. And the one with 1 is the same as 1. And since the ones that are both 3 are at the same angle, that also tells us that this line bisects the angle, divides it into two angles of equal measure. We're going to take this and put it into our cipher. Okay. Remember, here's the front. It's in the notes area. And we're going to come and turn. Remember, this is page -40. We're going to use that later. Right now, on page -39, put the title Construction and page number. You're going to put in the construction that you've done and the page number that it's located on. Okay? We're going to put the one we just did right here, bisect by folding. That's what we just did. And since we're all beginning, they'll all be on the same page. Later, it might be on a different page for different people. It's going to be on page -38. This is on page -39. Turn the page, and on -38, label it as bisecting an angle by folding. Okay, bisecting an angle by folding. Okay, when you paste it in, don't paste the whole thing in. You still want to be able to fold it. See, I can fold here and see how I got this bisector. I can fold here and see how I got this bisector. I just put my glue in this area here on this point so that I could still fold here and I can still fold here. So only in this area, but put quite a bit so it'll stay, and then stick it down. That way you'll have it here for when we want to do this. We'll do it off and on throughout the year, so you'll need to be able to remember. So again, put your paste only in one of the points. That'll be before the fold that you made here, before the fold that you made here. Paste it down good, and you have now bisected an angle in the field way, in the on the fly way, in the accurate enough for what we're doing way. Okay, and here into the lesson.